Michelle Bachmann is on the phone. Michelle, how are you?
I'm doing great, Glenn. I watched every second of the special you did last night, followed by the discussion. And I'm urging all of your listeners to go and watch it at Glenn Beck TV. It was spellbinding. It was absolutely spellbinding. I can confirm. I sit on the Intelligence Committee. I can confirm that every single word was accurate that was given in that last night. It's absolutely profound.
It is terrifying. You know what this is, Michelle? This is, I said this morning, this document or this film that we made last night is the 9/11 Commission had it been done in advance. I mean, it is the smoking gun. Someday, when all this stuff starts to happen, this is going to be used as a record of, yes, they did know. All of them knew. I mean, there's no way that you can watch this in any other way and say, oh, well, there's nothing to worry about. You all right?
Well, yes, and I want to say that I want people to be encouraged because there are members of Congress here that are on this. I personally spend 25 to 30 hours every week just dealing with this problem. I think this is the number one issue facing our country right now. People have no idea how far, how deep, how wide the Muslim Brotherhood has penetrated the upper echelons here in the United States. And Martin Dempsey, the top military man in the United States, the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, just said yesterday he ordered government censorship and a purging of any reference to Islam or Islamic training out of the military training materials. Now, this happened last October in the FBI. I sit on the Intelligence Committee. I demanded of the FBI that I be allowed to review the materials that they purged from the FBI. And the materials are training our FBI agents in how to spot the motivation behind terrorists. Now, just think about this. The Muslim Brotherhood has had the power and the influence to purge out of the military and the FBI and the State Department any reference to Islam. This is profound, and this is done in particular because our Secretary of State, Hillary Clinton, signed an executive order against defamation of religion. But it's really all about Islam, to make sure that we purge out of our government any reference to Islam in a negative way. Damn what the facts are on the ground. There is a purging that's going on, but it is censorship because by definition, censorship means the government withholding information. And that's what we're seeing play out. I've been forming a group here in Congress of a lot of good people. You had Alan West on last night. He was very, very good on your show. And we have other members of Congress that are also very good on this issue. We have formed a group. We're meeting on a weekly basis.
What's the name of the group? How can we help you, Michelle?
Well, we're a caucus, essentially, in dealing with this issue of penetration here in our capital, in our government, with the Muslim Brotherhood and the radical Jihad. Our goal is to educate every member that we can. We want every member of Congress to watch your documentary. Frank Gaffney also has a documentary series. You had the finest people on the couch last night. Andy McCarthy. You had General Boykin. You had Diana West. You had your own advisor on national security. These are really good people, and they're all trustworthy. And that's what we're trying to do, is educate people. So as a response to what you talked about last night, we are in the process of putting a letter together to Hillary Clinton, to at the State Department, to the chairs of the committee of the State Department that oversees them, also to the Intelligence Committee, also to the military, and we are demanding that the Inspector General of each of these departments look over the penetrations of the Muslim Brotherhood. We know, for instance, that we have Muslim Brotherhood penetration in one of the top slots connected with Hillary Clinton at the State Department. We know that in the military. And so we're demanding that they do an investigation of it. We're going to name at least 6 individuals that we want a full investigation of those individuals and demand Why are these people senior advisors to the president? Why are these people involved in actual on the government payroll at the State Department and the Pentagon? We are demanding answers.
Here's the thing, Michelle. The media is so in bed with CARE and ISNA.
Yes,
that
of course they are.
But I'm telling you, if this becomes a viral issue, if we can get people to watch this special
and become a viral issue. That's why everyone needs to watch your documentary.
If they watch this special, but then we have a way to stand behind you and people get involved in this. It's critical because
it's critical that people know who is working on this in D.C. because I have no doubt that there'll be shenanigans with our elections and all the rest. But who cares? Right now, it is civilization jihad. That was the term used last night on your couch. That exactly defines what this is. This is the enemy within to destroy our Western civilization, and we're being told to avert our gaze. Now, just think. Yesterday was the National Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yeah. We saw this happen 60, 70 years ago in Western Europe, and the world was told, avert your eyes, don't look at what's happening in Europe. We're being told again today, avert your eyes, don't look at what's happening in the United States and around the world. We're standing up and saying, like a Bonhoeffer said, we're trying to shout from the housetops, it's happening here. It's happening now. Pay attention. Call these people out. From my perspective, this is not being partisan. From my perspective, our current president and the administration are the most dangerous on national security of any that we have ever had in the United States. They have literally opened the floodgates, and they're allowing these people to come in. We're talking about people who are connected with the Muslim Brotherhood and the government in Egypt who should be subject to a search at the border, and our State Department calls directly to the Customs Border Security and says, don't do a primary search, don't do a secondary search. And these are people who are going to come and into the White House and have meetings in the White House.
Let me ask you a question.
The border is told not to search.
There is no, I watched this, and I've never said this before. I've said things like, what is happening is borders treasonous, as it was defined in the Constitution. I've never said, I've said our president is lying, our president is misguided, our president knows. He is an unindicted co-conspirator with the Muslim Brotherhood. There's no question in my mind he is not fully involved. He fully knows who the Muslim Brotherhood is, and he is orchestrating this infiltration of the Muslim Brotherhood. Is there any doubt? Talk me down from this crazy tree.
Let me give you an example so we're not talking in generalities. Our Secretary of State in the State Department is working with Tariq Ramadan. His grandfather started the Muslim Brotherhood and has terrorist ties to Hamas. He's an advisor. He is on a committee advising our government. This will be in the letter that I am sending out and that I'll be asking other members of Congress to sign on to for the Inspector General to answer the question, why is this individual advising our Secretary of State and the President of the United States?
Well,
there are other names, too, that we're going to be asking specifically. Investigate this person and give us an answer. We demand it.
Here's the amazing thing. The president cannot untangle himself from this. He has just said he's going to help the small businesses through the Muslim Brotherhood. So there's another connection. He's also just said it's an end of the war on terror because now Al-Qaeda knows that there's legitimate ways to do it, like through the Muslim Brotherhood.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. This statement was just said also yesterday by our State Department official that the war on terror is over. I think we should take the Obama administration at their word. If you think truly, and if you are saying it through your legitimate government channels that the war on terror is over, then I demand today that every service member in Afghanistan come home today. If the war on terror is over. But I was in Afghanistan this weekend, Glenn. I stood over the bed of a soldier in the ICU whose legs had just been blown off in an explosion 2 hours earlier. I prayed for him. I will tell you, the war on terror is not over. But if the war on terror is over, then I demand that we disband the TSA at the airport today. If it's over, disband it. Yeah. If it's over, take down all the barriers here in Washington, D.C.
You know what? I think if you guys in Washington said that, if the war on terror is over, disband the TSA. If you did this, and you did it along with all of the Muslim Brotherhood that are in this administration. I mean, when we found one communist and then others with the love of communists, we thought that was a pretty big deal. I'm telling you, after watching this documentary last night, the Muslim Brotherhood is, I mean, the Cairo speech really kind of says it all. The president is on the wrong side.
That's the first foreign policy visit and the first foreign policy speech that President Obama gave in his presidency. He went to the center of Islamic thought and learning. That's where he gave it. And if you read the speech, which I went back and reread, it's stunning. He's not speaking to a nation. He's speaking to a religion. Can you imagine any president going to a foreign country on his maiden voyage speaking to a religion? And he did not invite the president of the country, Mubarak. He specifically did not invite him. Who did he invite to sit front and center? The Muslim Brotherhood. This president has had the most open hand to the Muslim Brotherhood. He's literally flung open the gates to the United States and invited them to the most top upper echelons of power. And they are calling the shots in the State Department. They're calling the shots in our military. They're calling the shots in the FBI. And if they penetrated our law enforcement, then how are we safe in the United States?
Michelle?
That's why I'm devoting 25 and 35 hours a week on this. It's that important. We have to wake up. And I saw no better documentary than the one that I saw last night. It was brilliant, and it was right on. I can verify it as a member of the Intelligence Committee.
Okay, Michelle, thank you so much. We'll talk again. Keep up all of the hard work, and look into the connections between Farrakhan, Muslim Brotherhood, and the Black Panthers, because they're all there, and that brings you right to Al Sharpton and right to the DOJ and everything else. It's very bad.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Thank you very much, Michelle.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Michelle Bachmann in